Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Ted, and we've got, number 5 for our, what happens between adventures. So, Shard GaleRaven.
Yes.
Oh my word, the list that you came up with.
That's true.
So, hit
Wait, Shard GaleRaven, did you
All right.
change your name?
No, I did not. You were probably thinking of another character. Sometimes I'll use elements from one name in another name.
He
That's
samples.
okay.
He's a name
exactly.
sampler.
All right. So first, thank you very much for Swords of Tears, my custom spell, which has a range of 60 feet, an area of effect of 10 feet,
a radius of 10 feet.
Radius of 10 feet, and all drawn non-magical blades in that area turn into water. It occurs instantaneously, and then I need to concentrate to keep it.
The holder gets a saving throw.
Okay.
It's wisdom at a DC set by your thing.
Yeah.
And every round they make that save. If they manage to pass during that minute that you concentrate, the sword resists the magic, or the water resists the magic and reforms back into their sword, but it's on the ground wherever they were when the spell happened. It's not going to appear back in their hand because they can't hold on to the water.
Yep.
We had to do a lot of finagling and canoodling to figure out exactly what adjustments could be made to your initial premise. But eventually it got down to to that.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Third level spell.
Really excellent.
We wanted to make it something that you'd be able to actually use. It took all three of us to put our heads together to get it figured out. But
yeah, that's fantastic, and that's great. I'm very, very happy with that, and it's really exciting that as a wizard I was able to create a new spell that's just mine, which is really nice. The next one was GaleRaven Manor. All right, and so GaleRaven Manor is, I sent this to you, and I have a couple questions about it. So one, is it going to be built, or is this possibly a house that already existed from one of the cultists who was in town? Or perhaps the mayor himself.
Vacant property.
I would take over the mayor's manor. Because,
So we could say that there is a building that is able to be used,
Right.
unless you want to specifically have something built anew.
No, I would. That would be great because I can use it immediately, which I actually very much need that to be the case. So I have a question: is that, as you see it, a house, a mansion, or a castle?
Well, it definitely wouldn't be a castle. 'Cause
Agreed.
there aren't castles in Griffin Gaff.
Yep.
It's not even elevated to a full city at this point in time. We just talked about it starting to have a wall built around it. So it would probably be bigger than a house, but not quite a mansion.
Right between the two.
The picture you have here looks like it's like 2.5 stories. I don't know all the details that you're specifically looking to do at it, and I know you want to train wizards there, but you also want to sell things out of it.
Right. So I just want to take, and I actually don't want to train wizards. I want to have one apprentice at a time.
Okay.
Right. And I feel once they've been trained to 4th level, then they can go on their own, and then I would take on a new apprentice. So I don't have any intention of running a school.
Okay.
I would just like an apprentice.
So this is your place that you want to train one apprentice and sell odd magical components out of.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's one of my other goals, which is Shard Gale's exquisite components.
Okay.
And if you look at that picture, there's actually doors near the end, and I was thinking that, and I want the Shard Gale's exquisite components to be a very small shop. There might be 10 or 12 components available there, and then a wall full of normal components. But I want to have a share of exciting new components that maybe even wizards from other towns would travel here to see. So I think that'd be kind of nice.
Now, in a time frame that you would be adventuring or doing something else, does the shop close, or do you have somebody else that is
So I was
working?
thinking the apprentice. So one of two things would happen. The apprentice will come with me on some adventures. Most of the time, the apprentice would stay, and they would be authorized to sell and buy.
Okay.
Right. And if I lose some money on some of those, that's the price of having an apprentice. If maybe gain some great components, that's great too. Maybe I got lucky. So he would, and then I would say about 1 out of 4 adventurers, particularly if it's like not the end of the world and lower level, I'll bring him along. So the apprentice, one of his jobs would be minding the shop, and also the shop. I think I want to have it open 3 days a week, so it's not going to be open every day, and that would give that person some time to do their own thing.
Time to study.
Wouldn't be over. Yeah. But I did have a question. So one, I am a huge fan of Ultimate Campaign from Pathfinder, and the reason why is this book doesn't exist for 5th edition, but they're saying that a house is worth 1,290 gold, and a mansion, which I agree with you, this is very much a mansion, maybe 10% off or 20% off, is 5,160 gold. So one, I'm rolling up in here and I want to take this house, right? Now it probably belonged to a cultist, but I wish to, actually say I owe the town 3,000 or 4,000 gold, and I want to pay the value of this home so I can legally buy it, because I feel like
lease or finance.
Yeah,
we happen to have the mayor here.
Yeah.
And we'll say that the value of the house is 3,500 gold.
Awesome.
So negotiate.
Right. So I'll say I can put up 300 gold today, and I can begin paying a certain gold amount to the town each season, if that would be acceptable, at a rate of 12%.
All right, so we get into the realm of mortgages. I see.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. 12% seems fair enough. Let's see. So, had we sold it outright, we'd make revenue. So there probably would be some sort of interest fee going on, of course. So, we'll as a friend of the town and hero of the town, we'll give you a good rate of a 2%.
Excellent.
Rate.
Thank you. That's very kind. I appreciate that. I'll pick up payments this very month, and then that would be excellent. So I feel like I have ownership now of that.
Bottle opener.
I'm kind of excited about going forward with that. That's great. I really like that I can use that. That's a great place. I would like to propose my my apprentice, Obsid Strandon, Earth Genasi Wizard, who is formerly a gladiator, level 1. Do you want me to change any of those?
Well, we haven't really done much with Genasi here.
Or Gensai is
Genasi, Gensai, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
What is our take on Gensai in this world?
I don't even know what they are.
They're elemental
humanoids.
It's earth, air, water,
Plaintops.
Fire.
Heart.
Right. Yeah.
They used to call them
I call them Genasi.
Yeah.
Gensai is however also. Genasi sounds cooler. It sounds more.
Yeah.
I call them Gensai.
Yeah.
So what's our thoughts on them in chimes of Discordia?
Well, we haven't excluded anything.
Yeah, with the chaos thing, it could be a rare, and it's super rare.
So if we're not giving them the ban here, then absolutely.
Okay. Great.
He probably was not a gladiator here.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's gladiatorial pits or any of that kind of stuff in Griffin Gaff.
Yet.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
And then and so that was the things I wanted to accomplish. The rest of my time, I do feel is very important. So one of the things is, so Aeson Shardgale will begin training his apprentice, and give him quarters in GaleRaven Manor. And we'll start the Shardgale's exquisite components. Oh, actually, I did want to quest for some of those.
okay.
And so to see if I can get some. And how did you want to handle that? Like, is there goals? And actually, I am more than willing to, I actually want to see if I can get actual magic items, which if that puts my character at risk of death, I'm willing to take that risk.
I'm not going to put risk of death in between adventures.
Yeah.
So
that means it's gonna be minor.
That's just not as hardcore as Scott. That's
magic items in Chimes of Discordia are not super common.
Okay.
Disposable things or things that hold magic for a certain time, like
lint rollers.
Like your special spell components. If you get the tentacle of a displacer beast, that might be useful in rituals or something else.
Okay.
So if you want to roll 2 die 4 you know, you've managed to collect, you know, that many bizarre spell components, and as I did with, you know, within Gar's background, if you want to tell me what you did to get those, you
I see
know,
what
as
you're
long
saying,
as
yeah.
they're within,
Absolutely.
you know, the realm of your capacity, you know, oh yeah, it's the tooth of a Tarrasque, you know,
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
that totally makes
that's
sense. Okay.
totally not
That's a great,
it's
yeah.
tooth.
That's a great way to put it.
That's
So
not
I
its
have
tooth.
months and months, and one of the things that that Asen is convinced of is that, you know, we won this town through his election, and we are probably enjoying a few months of peace because if I know adventures, often calamity comes. So I am actually going to go to Unthgar, you know, bring some fresh bread and sit with him while he makes the sparrow. And I'm going to go make sure that I go, you know, to Arbalason and see what he's built, you know, and spend a few days
You also,
near the shrine.
you could, you know, in that time, you know, communicate. You know that he is a merchant. He's the one who, you know, if he's not selling it, he probably knows someone that does. So you could foster that connection, being as you want to have a shop.
Actually, the shop, I want to keep it very low key, right? So actually, I have my stuffs there. I'm actually not connecting it to any of the other characters in that, asking them to build it. I actually want it to be really low key, almost like an indie label, you know,
Okay,
like
so-
only
so-
the, you know, like yeah,
So you want it to be like that, you know, behind the curtain.
yeah, absolutely.
So,
and
all right.
and especially with wizards, because you know,
You
I'm
understand
expecting-
that,
yeah.
you know, if it's not talked about, it's going to take a lot longer to get people coming to you.
Yeah, that's fair. And actually, so the growth might be slow. Right now, I'm not. I really don't want large growth. I would much rather have excellent components available. Even like 6 to 10 customers might be more than enough. And I really want to keep it very exclusive and artisanal. Right? Yes, exactly. So right now, I'm not looking to spread it. And actually, that's one of the things I was saying is when I go to spend time with these guys, Asen is going to enjoy the piece, spend time
Right, so
seeing what
when
the
you
other
talk
characters are doing.
to Lyndon about the place, you're just saying I want to buy a house.
Right. Yeah.
One minor thing that came up, I think, off camera is we all have go bags at our hideout.
Yeah.
I have a go bag with a fair amount of coin
Yep.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, me as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just in case things go south. 'Cause,
If
yeah.
eventually, we saw how the last heroes of the town went out when we learned the real story. So,
Yeah.
All right.
But Asen will really take a deep breath and enjoy this moment of peace, and also enjoy, you know, that Griffin Gaff is now a town that we're blessing. The people are blessing us. You know, I'll go see the seamstress and tell her, you know, I need curtains for the manor, and I need, you know, a new tunic for Obsid, and you know, just give as much business as I can to the town, and just really enjoy this moment of peace. And Asen will just take a deep breath and enjoy
All
it.
right. Is there anything you wish to learn in your downtime? You can pick up a skill or a language,
Yeah.
if you have reason, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So the answer to
Again,
that
the four knowledges, you know, history, arcana, nature, and religion. They're easy to pick up time wise, and then languages of anything that's, you know, local to Griffin Gaff.
yeah, I actually will try to learn more about. I think I'm going to work on my. Since this is a downtime and it's peaceful, I'm going to try to work on my insight and make sure my insight is
Okay.
better.
Give me a D20 roll. Tell me what you get.
Yep.
roll high.
17.
You got it.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You know, you almost feel. You'll talk to random people and try to gauge things, but since you're spending time with each of the people who you think you know, you almost feel a little embarrassed because you're trying to pick this up, but you're also kind of trying to probe into them as well, because it's like, well, I already know this, so what can I assume here? Is he saying this? Is he saying that? So, you know, you deal with that as you will, you know, on your own
I could also
conscience.
probably, if he intimates that it's a skill set he's trying to look up, I could probably help him out. I'm not trained, but I have a +2 wisdom modifier, so I probably size people up as a business person. And
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That'd be
So,
excellent.
like I said, you got it.
All right.
Is there anything else that you wish to?
I think that's plenty on my plate. There's tons more that I would do, but I'm definitely limiting myself
Right,
because
so-
I want to focus on the things I talked about. Yeah.
I was just going to add, even if you don't want to say, hey, I've got a shop that has components. I just assume wizards need weird things,
Yeah.
so you could like offhandedly remark that you're looking for some things, and I would have no idea you've got a shop.
That's true. Yeah, you're
So
right.
you could absolutely ply me for weird
Yeah,
components,
components. Yeah, that'd be great.
and I would just assume you're doing a wizarding thing.
And
Yeah.
the huntsman too, like sort of like bounty hunter and huntsman,
Yeah.
like so
Because they're in
Thanos,
unusual places. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
outdoorsy people.
So I would still have no idea what you're doing.
So I
would just
will.
assume
I
you're doing
will give
wizarding.
him a list of 3 extremely rare flowers. That are
right,
part.
so-
Say if you see any of these.
Why don't
Which
you-
3?
Well, first off, why don't you roll your 2d4 to see what you quested for?
Sure.
Um,
All right.
right. So
4 and 3.
So you got seven components.
Nice.
That could be 4 of one thing, 3 of another, 7 individual things. And if you want to come up with a story now or later, it's up to you. But regale me with what you got and how you got it.
Okay.
Come on, man, lay it on us.
Sure. All right. So basically, that's a great point. So I think one of the things I would be looking for is probably works root. Right. So works root is buried deep below some of the larger trees.
Okay.
And so I would find works root, and works root would specifically be used for, I would say, evocation, right? And it's a little more difficult to find, and so I'll start building up that works root supply, and also I will train Obsid to recognize where works root is, and also right now we're actually going to have to be digging it up because it's deep underneath, and it'll take like a day or two. So me and him will be going out once we find it, dig up some of the root. We'll also ask Arbalason to send along a ranger to help us dig so that we don't harm the tree, and we're able to bring the components out but not actually harm the tree. And so that would be one of the components. And I think
Damn it, Ace Lane. I'm a ranger, not an arborist.
and so I think that so works root would be the first, and then I'll probably have more stories for some of the other components later.
Okay. So what does works root do?
Well, it specifically enables you to cast any. It helps you to cast any evocation spells from 1 to 3rd level, and can be used to supplement, and can be used as a replacement for a component you don't already have if you ran short, I would say.
Okay.
It's real bitter too, and when you use it when you cast a spell, you have to actually chew on it. It's why it's called worse root.
Yeah. Works root. Yeah.
Well, it could add an extra die of damage to whatever the damage die is.
Or maybe it lends to you the sculpt spell.
I was
feature.
thinking it would allow you to reroll 1s and 2s.
Hey, that'd be excellent. Yeah.
That would be really.
Yeah. Crazy good.
So there's lots of ideas of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Now,
But most
I just wanna
wizards still
grasp,
won't use it,
Yeah.
even though it empowers your spell because it tastes so bad.
Yeah. That's
This is known.
That would be great if we could find out a way.
It is known
to-
Ted Easy.
Yeah, so we'll begin experimenting with them, and it would be fantastic if it would allow actually 1s and 2 rerolls for that specific spell. Now, to me, what would be the value of that? 5, 10, 20 gold? I don't know.
I would say
You'd have to
between
put a cap on it,
5
yeah.
and 10.
Absolutely.
It's a consumable.
Yeah.
And it's not giving you more damage. It's giving you a higher minimum.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Hey, that's mimicking a sorcery point
Yeah.
expenditure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty major. So that's great. I think I will definitely go along with that. And again, believe it or not, one of the goals is to keep the shop small. I don't
So,
want a string.
so is the sorcery one rerolls 1s and 2s?
Yeah, and power spell, I believe.
Yeah, but this is limited to evocations.
Yeah,
too.
this is specifically limited to invocation.
And
if we wanted, we could just say 1s.
Yeah.
So it's less. So it's
Well,
even
yeah,
less.
you just do that. That's even less. Yeah.
Well,
that's a
no, what
great
you could
point.
do is you cap it like the highest level you can modify is of 3rd level, so the number of.
Yeah, so there's 2 caps built in: 3rd level and evocations.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
And 5 or 10? How many gold would it
Well,
for one spell's worth? 5, 10?
what do you guys think?
10 because it's
10.
precious.
Yep.
Like it,
Okay.
And it has to be dug up.
Maybe it does something different for sorcerers.
Well, or maybe the sorcerer doesn't have to spend his damn sorcerer
Right.
pool.
That's
Well,
pretty
yeah,
huge.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm excited because Wordshroot, it's custom. We found it. It's from right here. Oh, and here's another thing. It may be local to 50 miles within just this town. There's nowhere else to get it,
So are you saying you've got 4 of them, 7 of them?
Oh, I will take. I actually will take. I will take 5 and then save myself 2 others, and I'm going to bring stories back for you for the 2 others.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Cool.
Yeah, and so that's really exciting because we already have something really cool on the, actually right up, and of course we're gonna actually pack salt and wool and things that are used in very common. Where I'm actually gonna fill up a wall of just really common stuff. And really
all
Back
the
guano.
back guano, spider web.
Yeah, exactly.
There's all things that are very very common.
Yeah.
And I know as a mage player in previous games, I've done we killed something. All right, well, what can I harvest out of this thing? And it becomes every battle becomes this
Scavenger
gruesome scavenger hunt.
Yeah, I've always
But-
found that kind of macabre and weird.
Yeah.
But if there's something that actually, if there's something that makes sense, you could, is there a preservation, skill set or tool set that, you could begin working on to start harvesting these things and have them properly,
Yeah.
dried or,
Tools,
Absolutely.
When
medicine.
you go on
if
your,
it's
out
like
on your
organic.
travels,
Yeah.
yeah.
Andrew
I
will
mean-
probably go with you since he's more nature.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
He's also
Yeah.
looking for components for his own spells.
And to tell the truth, I would get lost. So that'd be great, just to make sure that me and Obsid don't get lost in the
He's looking for
in the
components for his
forest.
own spells, like
Yeah.
Moonbeam. He needs the Moon Seed and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
That'd be
So,
fantastic. So yeah, I'll actually definitely go with Andrew Hornwood when we go out. I'll make sure that he's with us. That way we don't get too deep in the forest or lost.
Or eaten by spiders.
Very cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's quite a lot for my human mage. So you guys know the drill. Until next time,
Stay nerdy.